Hi, everybody. This is Bill Noble from Token Metrics with another installment of our ongoing series, Long-Term Price Predictions, looking way out into the future, into the next cycle. Should you put up with the pain of the bear market? What will you get if you do so? Well, we're about to tell you. Today's installment is Polkadot. Polkadot is one of the highest rated coins on Token Metrics based on our automated fundamental grade. So we would like to invite you to subscribe to the Token Metrics YouTube channel, right? Turn on alerts so you know when we're posting videos or going live. And naturally, if this content helps you out, right, with your long-term plan for crypto, please hit the like button. All right, let's get right into it. The Polkadot long-term price prediction. What are we going to do? How are we going to do this? This isn't like Bitcoin or Ethereum where you have years and years of history. So how are we going to do it? In other videos, we've talked about William Gann, right? He was a technical analyst back in the early 20th century. He liked numbers and time as a part of his analysis. And one of his favorite numbers was 45. So in prior videos on Bitcoin and Ethereum, we used a 45-month cycle to help get our bearings for, when the next parabolic will start. Now, since Polkadot is a fairly new coin, we don't have the luxury of 45 months, but I figured we'd use 45 weeks and see what we could figure out. Since Polkadot started in August of 2020, we see two patterns in each of the last 45-week cycles, which is way up and then way down. So way up into the middle of the cycle and then way down at the end of the cycle. And we've seen that, twice. So it would be really neat if there was another big swing up in Polkadot, and then probably not so neat if there was a correction. Wouldn't that be fantastic? Okay. And that's possible because you never know when interoperability is going to start shining. Now, I have another idea because we haven't talked about this in other videos, and we want each video in the long-term price prediction series to have a little bit of a twist. Okay. So in this twist, we're going to assume that Polkadot may not behave as it did in the past, right? During this current 45-week cycle, which coincidentally started in May of 2022. So instead of up, down, we're going to try something new. We're going to have winter and then a parabolic up starting in March of 2023. So in each of the coins that we've done, it looks like if you apply the GANN seasonal work that the altcoins may be the first to sort of wake up. Polkadot, at least from a cycle standpoint, might actually start taking off in March of 2023, especially if it goes through kind of a winter period. Now, let's just go back and refresh how we do GANN analysis, right? Or the next stage of the GANN analysis. Polkadot has one key date in its history. Like ETH and Bitcoin usually have two, right? The 2018 bottom and the COVID bottom. But for Polkadot, Polkadot started or came out in August 18th of 2020, and that's just a date we're going to use, right? And we're going to use another date that we sprinkle in for a little spice, which is the winter solstice around Christmas in the year that this was recorded, 2022. Now, what are we going to do with these numbers? Well, we input these numbers into something called the natural squares calculator. Okay, that's a GANN tool invented by the people that own GANN's archives. It combines the square of 9, which is, an unusual grouping of numbers, and it includes dates. So you can look at both price and time. So instead of saying, oh, well, the price target is whatever, right? You can try to use dates to narrow down when something might happen, or you can be more accurate with your price prediction or your price target because you're also using time as a variable, right? So rather than just say, okay, here's a logarithmic chart and this is where it should go, you're going to use price and time to come up with levels. Using the GANN analysis, we came up with two numbers for Polkadot. We came up with $127 and $371, which is pretty bold considering Polkadot's currently trading, when this was recorded, around $6. Now, let's go through the scenarios using a table from tokenmetrics.com, right? So in the Polkadot scenario, right, we're going to look at where dominance is right now. So how much of the total market does Polkadot take up? And right now it's only like 0.75%. So this particular table runs total crypto market cap along the top, ranging from 500 billion to 10 trillion. And then it has a couple of different levels for Polkadot dominance, ranging from, I don't know, below where it is right now, all the way up to 7% dominance, which would imply, Polkadot takes over the whole world. So combining the GANN work with the token metrics work, right, we're trying to come up with two numbers. Because like I said, this table has a whole bunch of numbers on it, right? Which numbers matter? Which numbers seem to make sense for long-term predictions? And when we find the numbers, right, can we fit a scenario, right? So which numbers are important? That's part one. And then part two, is there a story or a narrative behind those numbers so that they make some sense? So scenario one has DOT at 127 with Polkadot dominance at 1.5%. So, Polkadot's twice as important as it is now. It's a way to say it. With total crypto market cap sky high at 10 trillion. So last cycle, it was 3 trillion. In the next cycle, for Polkadot to be a 3-digit coin, like over 100, I think you're going to need a $10 trillion market cap. So in scenario one, with Polkadot at $127, Polkadot's kind of along for the ride, right? And what ride is that? Well, it could be a dollar crisis or a currency crisis, or there could be something else going on that basically drives all money, all finance, and all fun to the blockchain, right? To crypto, right? It's the grand vision. So this cycle topped out around 3 trillion. And, this analysis for $127 Polkadot, the only way you get there is on this table, like right in the middle, where, you have dominance over here at 1.5% and Polkadot right around 131. So we're trying to match up the GANN numbers to what's on the table. Okay, now scenario two is, not as plain vanilla. So this one has Polkadot at, $328 with Polkadot dominance at 3.7%. So this is Polkadot becoming massively more important than it is now, right? And it also assumes that you've got the market cap at 10 trillion. Since Polkadot is a top-end altcoin, if you're going to have a gigantic price target for Polkadot, in both of these cases, you got to have total market cap at 10 trillion. What does the world look like with Polkadot being 3% of the crypto market at 10 trillion market cap? How does it get there? A couple things have to happen, right? One, Polkadot would probably have to be more important than a lot of the layer ones, maybe minus ETH. So how does the world connect? How does the world, move around the blockchain? Well, it's probably ETH and anything connected to Polkadot, right? That's what the world would have to look like. In other words, interoperability would actually capture more value than most layer ones. So is Polkadot more important than Solana, or is Polkadot more important than Avalanche or any other layer one that comes out? Well, in this scenario, you would have to assume yes. And then I think the other thing that would drive Polkadot dominance and Polkadot to 300 something is security tokens, right? In other words, I know that there are companies working on trading security tokens on the Polkadot network. Maybe venture capital is tokenized. Maybe real estate is tokenized. NFTs are tokenized. Who knows? But I'm guessing that the security token theme is going to be important, right? If the government comes out and says everything has to be a security, that's not Bitcoin, every proof of stake coin has to be a registered security, then blockchain and crypto becomes trading security tokens, whether it's a digital IBM coin or IBM stock as a blockchain instrument, right? Or it's just your average cryptocurrency or your average utility token registered and traded as a security. So if everything's a security and security tokens from the legacy world get ported over to the blockchain, that's what benefits Polkadot, right? That's the interoperability world that Polkadot and all the sort of hype around Polkadot in 2020 was based on. In other words, Polkadot, when it first came out, wasn't operational. It was just basically a pure idea. You know, the idea went up and the idea went down. And then the idea went up and then the idea went down. But what happens when Polkadot's not an idea? Well, if it's not an idea and it's something real, you have to assume that it might get really big. So that brings us to the winner, which is, admittedly a little pie in the sky. But when we say who is the winner of the scenario in Polkadot, right, we were a little bit more conservative with Bitcoin. But in Polkadot, we're kind of aiming for the stars. Why? Well, because security tokens could emerge. We know that Coinbase is getting set up to trade security tokens. That might mean Polkadot becomes one of the most important instruments in crypto. If you have Polkadot at 328 and you have a massive upcycle in the market, right? In other words, for Polkadot to get as important as it is, you're going to need the whole world on the blockchain. You're going to need a $10 trillion market cap. Otherwise, honestly, there may be no point in talking about Polkadot. If you agree or disagree, feel free to leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe to the Token Metrics YouTube channel. So this is Bill Noble. We will see you next time for long-term price predictions.